Dish residents concerned over chemicals found in exposure testing packed a town hall meeting.
Calvin Tillman was mayor of Dish, Texas, when the town suffered a serious air contamination event related to numerous gas industry installations in the small town. Here's Calvin to walk us through the whole story from his kitchen table.
So it was probably in early 2009 when the industry, I had pushed this enough and gotten enough media coverage that the industry decided they were going to do their air study. And so they did an air study. So the whole idea of doing an air study was the industry's idea.
So you hadn't had any independent testing at that point?
No.
This was the first set of testing that was done, and it was done by industry?
Right. Basically what they did is they put a methane detector in the back of a little SUV and they drove around town for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and they decided that there was no source of methane that would cause odor to the human nose. And so they actually presented this to me with a straight face. Now, once they came up with the idea that we needed to do an independent study, I began doing a little bit of research into what it would take for the town to do an independent study. We settled on Wolf Eagle Environmental, and so they did their air study, and their air study came up with, I mean, it's really well done. We actually had, they put everything together for us in a very nice report, and so it showed that there was carcinogens and neurotoxins that were part of this report. Well, they found things such as benzene, difluoromethane, ethylbenzene, toluene, xylenes
In the air?
in the area.
Okay.
Right. But they have the ESLs, and you shouldn't be above the ESLs.
Okay.
And so we went above the ESLs on benzene, dimethyl disulfide, methyl ethyl disulfide, methyl ethyl disulfide, benzene again, M&P xylenes, which is another carcinogen, carbon disulfide, which is neurotoxins, trimethylbenzene, diethylbenzene, methylethylbenzene, naphthalene, tetramethylbenzene. So I mean the list goes on and on and on, but those general chemicals were exceeded on all of these different. When we released this information, we were able to get TCQ all of a sudden decided that they wanted to get involved. And this is when we went through it's their fault. And so that's when the Railroad Commission decided that they had nothing to do with this. And so TCQ got involved. And so the toxicology division of TCQ actually did a report on this particular air study. And it went through it basically went through the air study, and it came out and said, it is possible that adverse health effects could occur from exposure to this concentration. The concentrations found in the study. The toxicology division is concerned that the monitored concentrations of benzene at several of the sampling locations could pose a long-term health risk to residents in the area if the concentration are representative of a normal, prolonged ambient condition. Several monitored and potential 1-hour maximum concentrations of target compounds and tentatively identified compounds could have resulted in the odorous conditions. Persistent or reoccurring exposure to levels which significantly exceed the odor threshold may cause related effects such as headache and nausea. This is consistent with citizen reports in the area. So this is from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
Okay.
After denying a problem for years, the gas industry was not happy when the test results finding air contamination in dish got media attention. So they attacked the study. Calvin explains why Wolf Eagle Environmental was chosen and other studies that found similar results.
Tillman is the former mayor of Dish, Texas. He is also the man who raised the alarm over the environmental threat posed by shale gas extraction in his town.
I began doing a little bit of research into what it would take for the town to do an independent study. And all we were looking for was the source of this odor. Where's this odor coming so we can plug the hole, stop the odor, because it's very annoying, very offensive. You simply cannot go on your day-to-day life with this odor. So that's when we decided that we needed to do a study. And so I called around, and in a city, if it's less than $50,000, you actually don't technically have to get a bids, but on everything I did as mayor, I got 3 independent bids. And so we had 3 bids. One of them was from Wolf Eagle Environmental, who was recommended to us from the University of Texas at Arlington. One of the professors there recommended her. There was another company out of Austin, and then there was one other local company. We wanted to do actual testing because we wanted to see what was causing this odor. I mean, and so the other person locally, the other firm here locally, they weren't going to do testing. They were simply going to look at the permitting data of the facility, and they were going to basically write up an assessment of where they think the odor is coming from. Where we wanted actual testing. And the other company that was going to do actual testing, they were significantly higher than what Wolf Eagle was, and we're kind of a small town. We just simply couldn't afford to pay. We've got much less for our money. And we wanted somebody to be able a little bit flexible, because sometimes the odor was stronger than others. And so that was one of the main reasons we settled on Wolf Eagle Environmental. The best thing that we were able to do is they started doing more testing. And by virtue of them doing more testing, they did some gas finder, infrared filming. And more testing, and that caused the operators to start cleaning things up a little bit.
And then later, when there was testing done, it was much better because there had been some cleanup done.
Yeah,
okay.
They started taking just mild precautions. The head of the Railroad Commission actually sent a letter out to all operators that said something to the effect of, we have these very well-funded environmental groups, which I've yet to find any of those that are really out there, but anyway, these well-funded environmental groups that were out doing monitoring, and so they needed to make sure that they closed all their hatches and did everything the best that they could do. And so you would see the hatches, the thief hatches closed, and you would see them cleaning things up a little bit.
Were those some of the things that you might have been asking them before you went to the media?
Mm-hmm.
And those first, you were asking for this, and then, but they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the full answer to that. One thing that they did in Dish to pacify us is they went and did their, they put in a permanent air monitor.
They put in a permanent air monitor. Okay.
Yeah. One monitor.
Is it?
It's not the best, but right after they installed it, we had one of these infamous releases, and they had been telling us for 5 years that stuff just goes straight up to the moon, man. You don't have to worry about explosions or any of that kind of stuff. Don't worry about that. Well, this permanent air monitor actually detected that it didn't all go to the moon. Strangely enough, it didn't all go up. It hung around, and it hung around in near explosive levels. Only one way to tell if it's explosive, but near explosive levels. And so after that happened, it was like as soon as it went online, this happened, and they moved all of the relief valves out of Dish. Now they're in somebody else's backyard, but they moved them all out of Dish.
The town of Dish breathed a sigh of relief, while some other Texans somewhere else woke up to gas releases in their backyard.